Yeah, I'll react to that, sure. Hi. Go.
There are few words I
What was that accent?
avoid more than Blitzkrieg. Although it sounds great, it is often just used for clickbait and cheap effect.
Military history visualize. Original link to the video, top of the description, right below that link to the Discord. Click on it, center right over there, pull up a chair, more the merrier. If you are not ready to learn, there's the door. Home ec is down the hall.
Rather than in a reflective way. Of course, there are reputable people that use the term, but usually it is in quotation mark, italics, and or precluded by the words the so-called. For the sake of brevity, I will skip the so-called in this video. So let's start with the origin story. First, the term Blitzkrieg means literally translated lightning war. Although it is a German word, the Germans actually rarely used it before the war. According to various sources, the term could only be tracked down a very few times in German pre-war literature. Additionally, it wasn't clearly defined at all. During the war it became used more often, yet the word was still not used in any precise technical sense. But it gets better.
It wasn't used prior to the war.
Both Hitler and Guderian, the two Germans most closely associated with Blitzkrieg in the English-speaking world, appear to have believed it to be of foreign origin. Since Time magazine used the term in September 1939, it is most likely the origin for the English-speaking world. Yet even after the war, Heinz Guderian, the father of the Panzerwaffe, just mentioned the word only once in his memoirs. Nach dem anfänglichen Gelingen rascher Schläge zu Beginn des Zweiten Weltkrieges sprachen unsere Gegner daher von Blitzkriegen.
Sorry guys, I just really like trying to pronounce. Nach dem anfänglichen Gelingen rascher Schläge zu Beginn des Zweiten Weltkriegs sprachen unsere Gegner daher von Blitzkriegen. Guderian Heinz Erinnerungen 1 Soldaten SV18.
After the initial success of rapid blows at the beginning of the Second World War, our opponents spoke about Blitzkrieg. Also, another famous German commander, Erich von Manstein, didn't use it in his memoirs. Thus, unsurprisingly, Blitzkrieg was never an official terminology in German doctrine or professional military writings. Or one could say that most German professionals in the military field avoided.
I had to fix my camera.
I heard that was before, never an official terminology in German doctrine or professional military writings. Or one could say that most German professionals in the military field avoided the term like the plague. So in other words, Blitzkrieg was first and foremost a buzzword, even back then. So in a way, when it is used for clickbait nowadays, the content creators actually use it quite correctly. Yet there's another major problem here. Because most people have various associations with the term due to its constant use. And it should be noted that actually historians dropped the ball here quite significantly. Although in recent years this had changed, yet the damage is done, to quote an article from 1995. Yet not only does the notion of a German Blitzkrieg concept or doctrine survive in popular consciousness and popular literature, it persists with many professional historians too. This of course in some cases led to full bullshit bingo, with terms like Blitzkrieg economics, Blitzkrieg Luftwaffe, or Blitzkrieg strategy.
Okay, so what is he saying? Is he saying that the term Blitzkrieg is simply is not used much in Germany, is more of a Western kind of naming, like but the concept of lightning war, of quick warfare, was clearly a thing, right?
Historians too. This of course in some cases led to full bullshit bingo, with terms like Blitzkrieg economics, Blitzkrieg Luftwaffe, or Blitzkrieg strategy. Now before we answer the final question what Blitzkrieg actually was, we need to tackle what is commonly associated with it. One of the implicit key assumptions that goes with the term and usage of Blitzkrieg is that it was something completely new or at least revolutionary. And many people also state that explicitly, that what happened in 1939 to 1941 was a complete new form of warfare.
Can I interject here? I think what was a complete new form of warfare was Blitzkrieg with heavy, modern for the time, for heavy tank divisions. I thought that is what the whole revolutionary concept of Blitzkrieg with Germany in World War II was the vast driving in with tank divisions, which just even in World War I, I don't think was as developed, and the mass encircling that went along with that. So I think that was, if not revolutionary, never seen before with heavy, large tank divisions.
Well, actually, there are scholars which took a closer look at the big
Let me know
picture
if I'm wrong.
that have come to a very different conclusion. To the Germans, however, Blitzkrieg was never a revolution, but the incremental development of concept and doctrines that originated from the campaigns of Frederick the Great, Blücher, Moltke the Elder, and those of the First World War. Basically, there are several themes that run through Prussian and German military history. First, the focus on short wars won by decisive battles. Second, a strong emphasis on surprise, mobility, and operational warfare, or Bewegungskrieg, with a strong emphasis on outflanking the enemy with the entire force. And third, an aggressive stance, thus even during a strategic defense trying to strike the enemy on the operational level. So regarding the general principles, there was no innovation or major change. This probably becomes even more apparent when we consider the following. When the Third Reich went to war, its army's latest general field manual had been published in 1933. It had been written before rearmament had gained momentum and before the 1st Panzer Division was established. In other words, Blitzkrieg, or better, what is often associated with it, was from the principle as traditional as it gets. It was good old-fashioned Prussian maneuver warfare, just properly merged and organized with new technologies. Among these were most notably the Panzer, the aircraft, and probably most importantly, the radio. Because without proper communication and coordination, maneuver warfare is almost impossible. Well, this brings us to the final point.
Think about, like, all right, this general's going over here, and he might be going 10, 20, 50, 100 miles in or something. And even though you can tell that and everyone knows what page they're on, the generals, yeah, they're doing that. Not everything is going to go to plan, and so you don't know exactly if they succeeded. And so being able to call back, like, hey, yeah, we are going as planned, we're doing well, we're over here, now you go, makes a lot of sense. Yep, that's big radio.
Namely, what is Blitzkrieg? Well, I would say there are basically two options, a strict interpretation and a more open one. If we go for the strict and disciplined, Blitzkrieg is basically nothing else than a buzzword assessment. On the battlefield and in the campaigns, Blitzkrieg was a result or perhaps an ex post facto description of the result. It was never a tactical or an operational system. Now, a more open interpretation would try to reconcile the fact that the word is strongly associated with the Panzerwaffe could be the following. Blitzkrieg was traditional aggressive German-Prussian maneuver warfare, with a focus on achieving a decisive victory on the battlefield, in combination with mechanized units, close air support, and a radio-based command and control system. Or in other words, it was an evolutionary step, not a revolutionary one. Although the results might be considered revolutionary.
Yeah, so an not revolutionary tactic, but because of the new weapons of war developed in World War I and more perfected towards by World War II, it was so shocking that it's kind of like, oh, it's never been seen before. Okay.
Depending on the viewpoint. As always, sources are linked in the description. Special thanks to Justin for fire support on this video. If you want to learn more about German military history, check out this video about the Panzer Grenadier Division. Or if you're more interested in a sober assessment of the current US Navy and Chinese Navy strategies, check out this video. Anyway, thank you for watching and see you next time.
Thank you for making an amazing video. Cool. Oh my god, I'm really close up. It's awkward. Hope you're all doing well, guys. Hope you enjoyed that. It can help me if I said something wrong or stuff in the comments. I know I'm wearing a Christmas Mike Tyson. But it's just because it was the closest thing to me, and I'm sometimes lazy. Out of season. Bye, guys. Chin up if you're not doing well. Always caring about you, all right? Chin up. You'll be okay, all right? Everything will be fine. Not as bad as you think. Unless it is. Anyways, see you guys next time.